Hi, I'm going to run through using GEM4D to create ERF values for stopes, and there's two ways to do this. I'll deal with the first one in this presentation. So I'll start with loading a stope, which I have exported from datamine. Datamine exports have triangles and points, and the simplest way to generate ERF for this particular stope will be to create a clipping plane down the axis. So we'll turn on the clipping widget and we'll tilt it to where we want it, something like that. And that is pretty much straight down the axis. It's a little bit skew, so I'll just turn it slightly like that. Check it so it's down the middle of the crown, it's down the middle of the end wall, middle of that end wall, it's into the crown of the backs of the ore drive at the bottom. So that's pretty much bang on where we want it. And the what we want to do is generate on that clipping plane, we'll generate a grid of marker points, which we'll then be able to color in ERF value. So with the mesh function, we go into very quickly into here. So we'll the mapping point, of the marker points will be generated on that clipping plane. So we go to ERF and select yes, because it's calculating ERF on a predefined clipping plane. We do that. Grid parameters, so it's on a 1-on-1 grid spacing. That's probably enough just for this demonstration. Search increment, it'll search each point 10 degrees. 36 of them to go all the way around. If we wanted to make it more detailed and take longer, we go to 1 degree and it'll do 360 of them. All right, so we'll go back to 10 there, that's fine, and we go accept, and it will generate a CSV. Now I've already run this one, so I'm going to just overwrite that one and save it, replace it, and then to display them, you go into marker and load that CSV right there. Okay, and you want to have a look at it, we'll just, you see down here, we've got each point that it's generated, XYZ and the ERF value, and an estimated HR. So let's just switch off the mesh, and you'll see the ERF points that it's generated. So we'll just go and make those. We can turn off our clipping widget. All right, that is displaying elevation. So with the marker points, we just go to data column 1. Now that's displaying ERF. I've already got it reversed color because normally it would do it that way. You must make sure you've got reverse color on, and you can play with your display. So 3D points, that's virtual spheres. Now you can save that if you want to do as a DXF. It's not as if it doesn't seem to, it doesn't then come back as this. So you've got your marker points, just keep it as marker point files. Burning colors, I've tried that, it's not that effective. If you want to show the colors on the outside of the mesh, click your mesh on, right, and you'll see that's down through the middle of the mesh. All right, and the way to project those colors onto the outside of the mesh, go back to marker and you color meshes. Sorry. Color the meshes, All right, so that's colored the mesh. Let's just check the settings. You want it to be set to nearest neighbor, and if you change something, you've got to click update, otherwise it won't. So I'll put it back to nearest neighbor, update there. And the search radius, I'll just demonstrate that. Let me just turn the mesh back to, all right. So search radius, if you play with that, say we go to 5 meters and update, right, that's only projecting the color 5 meters either side. All right, so you'll have big bits which are gray, okay, where it's further away, so make it 20 for instance, and that will cover that. But each time you change something, you've got to remember to update. And there you have your colored stope shape on ERF. And I'm just going to check and see. Yeah, I'm not sure if we can now burn the colors. I think you need to burn the colors to the mesh. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to just try that and see if it works. Stope ERF color. Yeah, we'll try that one. All right, and all right, that took a bit of time, but it's done that. So let's just turn that off and turn off the markers. Actually, we don't need to. Let's load, add a DXF. Let's see if it comes back with color. Open that up. It's obviously a little bit bigger. Let's check the size. That looks like it might have been. Yeah, that's big. All right, that's why it's it's taken time. So probably for manipulation purposes, keep your marker points as markers, and just color the mesh if you wanted to do a larger panel or several stopes together. There you go. Yeah, so that's definitely colored the mesh, colored the stope mesh, but it's very big, and if you had several stopes you would not be able to manipulate it. It would be very stop and start. All right, thanks for that. I'll do another one for a warped surface. All right, so the other way to do this, I'm going to just clear my scene. And the other way to do ERF on a more complicated configuration. No, not that one. Where are we? Let me add a load of DXF. So here I've got 2 stopes. All right. Again, it's the one we've just done, and the one next to it. All right. So the way you need to do this is to create a warped plane. And a warped plane is essentially where you have you want it to calculate down the axis of this stope and the axis of this stope, and you cannot, with the clipping widget, get those two on one plane. So if you have a stope configuration and level configuration that has different orientations for each stope, then this is how you would do it, and you'd use this for potentially larger models. The best way probably to do this, because it's a bit fiddly, doing it in GEM4D, but best way I think would be to do a axial slice in either Datamine or in Vulkan or in Deswick, or however, whichever software you're using, because you then import that as a DXF slice down and generate your walk plane from that. So if you're doing a small model, this is probably the way to do it in GEM4D. So we'll create a slice through this stope first. So we'll just get that into the right spot. We'll turn it around and we'll tip it over. Drag it in there like that. Let's just check if that's going down the guts of it. Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, that would probably do. Maybe a little bit further over. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So happy with that. That's our first stope slice. So you want to show the lines. All right. So that will clip there like that. So I'm just going to show that, turn off the clipping widget like that. Now what I'm going to do is save load this one. So it saves it, and I'm going to call it stope 1 axis 1 because I've already done this before. Replace it, yes. There we go. So that's saved as a flat a plane through that stope. Don't need this bit, so I'm going to just clip that out. Okay, there we go. I'm going to go save load again. Okay, so there we have your first stope clip. All right, I'm going to turn that one off. I'm going to add a DXF. I'm back to here. Which has got both of them. Show my clipping widget. Flip it over, get it roughly aligned with the other stope. That's the best alignment I can get through there, and I'm going to have to go all the way over. Right, now we can drag it into the right spot. Alright, it's pretty much got that stope there. Yeah, it's through there, it's down through the ore drive. Okay, so we can do exactly the same thing, new clipping. There we go. Turn off our clipping widget. Alright, I'm gonna save load does the visible stuff. So I'll do a save load on that, and I'll call it stope 2 axis 1. There we go. Yep. Alright, and then we just take out the bit we don't want, which is this bit. Okay, and add DXF, which is that one, and we have our two slices at different orientations. Okay, so the next process is you need to create a surface onto which you put your markers. All right, so on here we go to surface and a warped surface. Perform a best fit warped surface, warp plane through the visible points. No, hang on, I've missed a step here. Yeah, so the step that I've missed here is we need to turn the mesh here, the mesh slices, into a CSV. So here we go into polyline and point vertices. All right, this will export the shapes we've got here, the slices, into a CSV. So there we go, stope 1, 2, axis 1. So I'm going to save that and replace it. Okay. So now we get to loading a CSV. Okay, that's there. It's that just the points around the edges. So that but with those points we can create the warped surface. All right. So you see, it's just gone. Put points around the edges. It doesn't matter what color you're using. The software will work it out. Right. Okay. So we've got GEM4D grid parameters. We want 1 and 1. Same as we did before. We've got the search increment and the model boundaries. We don't need to fiddle with those. If we accept that, yes for an aggressive warp, or no for a less aggressive warp. Yeah, aggressive ones will probably follow the more complicated geometry better. So we'll do that one. And there it is. There you have a warped surface through your 2 stopes. Okay, so the next stage is we need to go back to mesh and we add in our external stope geometry. There we go. Right, and on the surface we've created, we're going to generate our ERF values for both of these 2 stopes. So we'll go mesh into CSV again, radius factor, and we want to do it a no because we're doing it on a warped plane. And again, this box doesn't display right, but it's the 36 in 10 or 360 in 1 degree. That's that one there. And once it's calculated that, it'll get you to save it as a CSV. All right. Step 1. Step 1 and 2 ERF. Okay, now we go back to marker. Let's clear the other markers. And we can bring in our stope 1 and 2 ERF, which will be there. That's again is displaying elevation, so we'll just click it up to data column 1. We'll turn off our stopes, and there you've got your ERF values in your markers. So let's make them into, yeah, okay, so pretty similar. There's the one on the right is pretty similar to the first one we did, because that's the same stope. And the other one's got a lower ERF in the middle. So again, let's just see what that looks like on the outside of the stopes. So we'll colour the meshes. There we go. And because the settings are the same, because I haven't changed anything, still doing it as nearest neighbour. And there you have a warped surface coloured mesh on more complicated stope. Yeah, let's just turn off those, delete the markers, and your colours remain. Oh, you've still got the lines down. You can turn those off too. Alright, and so that would be a good way of displaying more complicated stope model. But as I say, get your axis slices straight out of the modelling software or the design software like Datamine or Deswik. Alright, cool. Good luck.